mayoral forum for the city of Scottsdale. And so tonight we're providing our club and guests with the opportunity to hear from candidates running for Scottsdale mayor. This year, the seat currently occupied by Mayor Jim Lane is subject to election for a 4-year term, and if elected, would be his final term per the municipal term limit. There are now 2 candidates for the nonpartisan office listed on the City of Scottsdale website. 3 original candidates' campaigns were contacted and invited to our meeting tonight. Jim Lane, Bob Littlefield, and Bill Crawford. And all 3 accepted our invitation and joined us here tonight. However, candidate Bill Crawford decided to withdraw his candidacy prior to filing his petitions this last week, and he is invited up right now before the forum to just greet us briefly tonight. Bill Crawford.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to come here this evening, even though I am not a candidate. I'd like to set the record straight on a couple of items. First of all, I had a very hard-hitting speech written, and I was going to come in here and pound away at this. But looking at the room, the size of the room, the attendees, I decided to rather turn this into a conversation. First of all, there are 2 rumors going around out there that I'd like to set straight. One of them is that Bill Crawford didn't file because he couldn't raise the signatures. Here's 2,400 signatures, the most of any candidate that was raised. Went into Carolyn Jagger's office, she saw them. If there's any question in anyone's mind, you can call Carolyn and she will verify that I have the signatures. The second one, which I found quite disturbing, was that Bill Crawford must have taken a bribe. Well, those of you who know me know that I'm not for sale. I have integrity and principles. I'm the guy with my wife Debbie who spent $100,000 of our own money fighting issues in the bar district that turned out to make it a better place with more compatibility. So, a year ago, there was an article in the Scottsdale Republic, and it quoted Mr. Littlefield, saying that he was going to run for mayor. In that same article, I was quoted. I said, if Bob Littlefield runs, I'm going to run. Because I thought that was the best thing I could possibly do for Scottsdale. The reason I pulled out of the race is because I didn't want Bob Littlefield to be able to win this election, which I think is the very best thing that could possibly happen to Scottsdale. You know, I've campaigned with Bob. I've known Bob for many years. I, like many others, have been double-crossed by Bob multiple times. He says one thing and does another. He'll take a political issue, beat the drum to get the attention, but there's never a resolution. There's never a compromise. He moves on. And I believe Bob does what's best for Bob with his own agenda. What has he accomplished in 12 years? Nothing. Well, he did get his wife elected, and Guy Phillips. Coincidentally, Guy Phillips, when he's campaigning up north, he says that he doesn't support Bob when they're campaigning downtown. They work shoulder to shoulder. I believe that Bob has made a living preaching demagoguery to the citizens of Scottsdale, but never really accomplishing anything. And, excuse me, I've diverted from my speech, and I'm going to wrap it up here in a minute. The most egregious example of Bob's self-centered motivation is the preposterous proposal that we would be stupid enough to elect a mayor while his wife is already seated on the council. Can somebody tell me why giving 28% of the vote on every issue in Scottsdale to one household is a good idea? Can you imagine having 70 U.S. senators from the same family? The complexion of our elected body should be diverse from all sides, from all parts of the city. That would be like giving Bob Littlefield 2 votes on every issue. And I don't think that's the right way to do it. We're going to wrap it up. So anyway, I'm sorry, this is my First Amendment right. okay? And I have every right to be here and every right to speak. You invited me. If you're part of a political organization that supports Mr. Littlefield, I'm sorry about that. We're going to be working hard because this is the guy, Jim Lane, that has done more, moved us forward in the past 8 years. Had Bob Littlefield been the mayor, we'd still be choking on the dust of the last recession. So I am here to completely support Jim Lane for mayor. Thank you very much for having me.